Hello Aries, my name is Keith Haswell and I'm a professional astrologer with 40 years experience in the business and over 30,000 clients worldwide. It's my pleasure to welcome you to this reading of your horoscope for 2014 from a spiritual perspective. Now if you're watching this because your sun sign is in Aries, then if you know your time of birth, it's much preferable for you to know what your ascendant is, because the ascendant reading will be much more applicable to you. I suggest, Aries, if you know your time of birth, then submit your birth details through my website and I'll be happy to do your horoscope chart for you free of charge and send it to you, so you will know then what your ascendant is and which of these videos is applicable to your sign. Now what I'll be focusing on in this reading for you is to look at your horoscope from the point of view of the movements of planets in 2014, so that I can help you to understand what's going on in your life spiritually, but also from the mundane events and conditions in your life as well, with a view to helping you to understand more about yourself. To know yourself is a very powerful force and a very powerful need. And so the science of astrology can help you to understand more about yourself. And I'll be looking at the location of the signs on each of the 12 houses of your horoscope. You've got your rising sign, which is the sign on the eastern horizon at the time of your first breath. And that sign is individual to you and you alone, and to others who have the same rising sign as you. If we don't know your rising sign, then we use the sun as the cusp of the first house, and it's equally as accurate. But it's preferable if you can have your ascendant and be working on looking at the video that is applicable for your rising sign or your ascendant. Now what I'm going to be doing for you is telling you the various impacts of the signs on the cusps of your houses. Astrology is the most scientific presentation of hidden truth in the world today, because it deals with you and your life and the events and conditions in your life. Now it's important to understand that you are creating all of the events of your life. There's no such thing as karma that's imposed upon you, and therefore you must break a leg because you forced someone in a last life to break their leg or something like that. Or all of these things that are imposed upon you because you've been a bad person in your past life. You are experiencing all of these events and conditions because of your raw materials. These are your attitudes and your beliefs, your thoughts and your feelings, and the decisions and choices that those attitudes and beliefs and thoughts and feelings engender from within yourself. Now, each of us are living our lives through the events and conditions of our life and experiencing our consciousness through those events and conditions in our life. And these events and conditions in our life all belong somewhere in one of the 12 segments of your horoscope called houses. So as having your rising sign on the cusp of your first house, there'll be the next sign following on from that is going to be in the cusp of the second house, and then the next sign will be on the cusp of the third house, and so forth all the way through the 12 segments of your horoscope called houses. And each of the events of your life fit into one of these 12 houses. But more importantly than that, you are experimenting and experiencing and expressing your consciousness through these houses, and in that process you are gaining experience and you are gaining knowledge, and you are turning that knowledge into wisdom. Now the most important thing about my reading that I'm going to be doing for you here is that I'm going to be telling you what are the needs that you are fulfilling through these houses of your horoscope, because each of the 12 houses you are fulfilling certain needs in life through the events and conditions of that house. The first house, for example, is your need to have impact. You need to commence and start projects and ideas so that you can have impact in the world and feel a sense of power. The second house is the house to do with your sense of security and fulfilling your security needs, not just your financial security, but also your physical health security and your emotional security, your mental security, and your spiritual security in life. So through that house you're fulfilling your security needs. Through the third house you are fulfilling your needs to communicate. And that is the house where you are dealing with those who are close to you, like relatives and neighbours. The fourth house is where you are fulfilling your belonging needs, to belong to a home environment and a family unit, and to those who cohabitate with you in the home, sharing that family sense of belonging there. So you are fulfilling your belonging needs. The fifth house is where you are fulfilling your need to love. We all need to love, and we all need to have fun. And so entertainments and amusements fit into there. Romance and love fits into there. And sexual activities, sporting activities, restaurants and places of amusement, and children. The greatest capacity for us to express our love is through our offspring. The sixth house is the house where we are fulfilling our service needs. We all need to be having meaningful work. So work belongs in that arena of the sixth house. Meaningful work is very important for you regarding health. So we need to be able to be of useful service in the community through meaningful employment, and that fits into that category of maintaining good health through right diet and exercise. The seventh house is the house fulfilling our needs to have a mate, to have somebody in our life who is an intimate, someone that we can get to know, and to be known in return. To be known is very, very important, and to know someone is a very important need that needs to be fulfilled in life. The eighth house fulfills our need for change. We're all the time reflecting and thinking upon aspects of our nature that we know that we should transcend. And so fulfilling that need for change. The ninth house is the house where we fulfill our need for expansion. And we do that through adult education, through study, research and investigation, through philosophy, religious pursuits, and also travel. The 10th house is where we are fulfilling our esteeming needs. We all have a need to be well thought of in the community and to aspire to the heights of success in whatever our chosen field is, and that brings in the career and business. The 11th house is where we are fulfilling our need for friendship and group activities. We all have the need to have friendships and to have group activities in our life. We are ultimately all working towards group consciousness. And so group activities and club activities all fit into that category. The 12th house is where we are fulfilling our needs for solitude. We all need to have that time, quiet time to ourselves, where we can reflect and think upon ourselves and aspire towards being more of who we really are and aspire towards the divine. And many times we do this the wrong way. We do it through crisis and internment in hospitals and institutions. And we force ourselves to have that solitude. We force ourselves to reflect upon moral and principles and values and so forth, and to develop our character and to aspire towards the divine. Make no mistake about it, you are in a spiritual classroom. All of us are in a spiritual classroom. Whether you believe in God and believe in Goddess is immaterial. The fact of the matter is that they have created everything that's in our lives. They have created everything that's in the universe. And without them, you wouldn't be here in life. Science poo-poos higher beings, and science poo-poos a designer in the universe, but the evidence of design in the universe is just so overwhelming that you must let it in that there is that God and Goddess, that ultimate being who's there to help us and to guide us. And so this is the objective and the purpose of my work, is to help you to be a believer in God and Goddess. A believer in the fact that they have set it up in a way that allows you and gives you the power to create your own reality. You are creating all of the events of your life. No one is doing it to you. So if you've got pain in your life, you've got to look at your raw materials. You've got to look at your attitudes and your beliefs and your thoughts and your feelings. It's easy to think that no one knows my thoughts and no one knows my feelings, but everything is recorded by yourself, by the higher aspects of yourself, your subconscious mind and your unconscious mind. And so rather than creating all of the events of your life through your subconscious mind and your unconscious mind, you're better off to do it consciously. And so this is what the objective of my intensives are all about, is to help you to understand the laws that we live within in this space-time rule set that we call Earth, this spiritual classroom that we call Earth. And we've all made mistakes. We need to draw upon courage. Courage is the willingness to act, even though you don't have all the answers, and even though some of the answers that you do have are wrong. It's okay to be wrong. It's okay to not be perfect. It's okay to make mistakes. We all do it. And so the idea is to rise above those mistakes from here on, and to start changing those attitudes and beliefs and those thoughts and those feelings that are there in your subconscious mind, thoughts that you don't deserve love, thoughts and feelings and attitudes and beliefs that you're no good, that life is a financial struggle for you, that you'll never amount to anything, that relationships don't work out for you, that you're not lovable, and self-pity and fear and self-sabotage and anxiety and doubt and insecurity. Look, we've all got these things inside of ourselves. And this is what we're in this level of consciousness to do, is to transcend all of those negative aspects of ourselves. And so you sit back and relax now and enjoy the journey here. And I'll take you through a journey for 2014 and tell you what sort of impacts that you're going to be experiencing and which way that you are going to be developing those principles and values within yourself in order to fulfill your needs. Now, Aries, you've got some very exciting things happening in 2014. And you are a person, as far as your needs to have impact is concerned, through your first house with either the Sun in Aries or your ascendant or rising sign in Aries, then you are a person who has a take charge attitude, and that's how you have impact in your life. You've got a lot of initiative, you've got a lot of enthusiasm to commence and start projects and ideas. Sometimes you don't think them through carefully, but you've got a tremendous amount of energy there, a fire sign. Now you've got some very exciting things happening, Aries, in 2014. You have got Uranus in the first house of your horoscope for the whole of the year. Now Uranus is the embodiment of a particular energy that gets you to innovate. And so therefore you'll be called upon during 2014, Aries, to innovate, to be inventive and to be intuitive and to look towards New Age philosophies like astrology, meditation, reincarnation, And all the New Age philosophies will come into your purview during 2014 with Uranus there in your first house. So you can be faced with some unusual circumstances to do with your health and also to do with your personal initiatives and interests. You can expect the unexpected during 2014, Aries, with Uranus there in the first house. Now Mars is the ruler of your first house, Aries, and it is in a retrograde motion or an apparent backward motion from the 2nd of March through to the 20th of May. Now during that time in particular, you'll probably find that your personal self-initiated efforts are not going to go quite as well as what you want them to. So just take things easy during that time, but the rest of the year should be okay. Looking at fulfilling your needs for security in life, Aries, you've got Taurus on the cusp of your second house. Taurus is Venus ruled, so you're very practical when it comes to money matters, and you feel as if you fulfill your sense of security in belonging to nature in some way too. So you like to get out among the beauties of nature, especially the mountains and the trees and things like that. So you like to have trees in the backyard and plants and shrubs inside the house and so forth. Gives you a feeling of belonging to nature, and that gives you a sense of security in life. You love rich furnishings and you love nice luxurious things around the place, little statuettes and knickknacks and artistic expressions around the place, Aries. And you also like nice clothes. Now the third house, Aries, is where we are fulfilling our needs for communication. On the cusp of your third house, you've got the sign Gemini. So you're very, very communicative. Yes, you use your hands quite a lot in conversation and communication. And you possibly have twins in the family or in your neighbourhood and among relatives. And you perhaps have 2 cars at some time. So you could have 2 means of transportation. For example, you could have a car, plus you could have a motorbike or a bicycle or something like that. You have a distinct sense of duality in your nature and in communication. So in communication with relatives, you perhaps express yourself one way, but with other people in the job, perhaps you express yourself in a different way altogether. So in that respect, you feel at times as if there's 2 people in the one body. A lot of duality there, Aries. Now the fourth house, Aries, is where we are fulfilling our needs for belonging to a family unit and the domestic environment, and with those that cohabitate with us in the home. And you've got Cancer, the home-loving sign, on the cusp of your fourth house. So you love the family and you love to reminisce about family ventures in the past. You love to live near the water, or you have a swimming pool in the backyard, or you have a fish tank in the living room or something like that. You love the symbol of water around the place. Now you've got a very exciting thing happening all through the whole of 2014, Aries. You have got Jupiter, the major beneficial influence of Jupiter, sitting in your fourth house. So 2014, the whole of the year, Jupiter is sitting there in your fourth house, and that'll bring a lot of social activities revolving around family. You can have family who'll travel from overseas to visit, or you could travel with family members to overseas. There'll be a lot of group social activities and things like that around the home. It's a very good year for you, Aries, to buy or sell property or to change residence. You'll find that perhaps things that have been drawn out, you've been waiting for them to come to a conclusion, will come to a beneficial conclusion sometime in 2014 too, Aries. And parents could travel overseas, or they could have beneficial medical intervention to improve their health and things like that during 2014. Now on the cusp of your fifth house, Aries, you've got the sign Leo. And Leo is very outgoing in their affections with children and with loved ones. You're a good organiser, you've got a sunny disposition, you're the life of the party at a social function and so forth, and you love going out to restaurants and places of amusement. Anywhere where there's plenty of fun and laughter and so forth. So you express your need to have fun, and your sexual expression, you're highly sexed, and a lot of happiness there socially with sporting activities and things like that, and involvements with the children's sports interests. On the cusp of your 6th house, where you are fulfilling your needs for service, Aries, you've got the sign Virgo. And so you serve in your job, perhaps in the health industry, or you could be in a clerical job. Any sort of job where you need the analytical skills is ideal for you, Aries. And you're very practical and down to earth, but there's many changes all by the same token in your job, because Virgo is a mutable sign. So there's a strong urge for change and experiences and things like that in the job. Now on the cusp of your 7th house, Aries, you've got the sign Libra. And Libra is a very beautiful sign to have there. You are fulfilling your needs there to have a mate and to have someone to get to know you and to be intimate and close, and someone that you can get to know through that 7th house. And with Libra on the cusp there, your spouse or your partner in life is an attractive person who loves music and artistic things, and you like getting out together to circulate with the general public. You like going out to parades and things like that, and so you do a lot of dancing together and artistic pursuits and things like that together with your spouse or partner perhaps. Now on the cusp of your 8th house, Aries, you've got the sign Scorpio. So you're highly sexed, and that's where you are fulfilling your need for change. So you do, Aries, become addicted to sex. You do become addicted to patterns of behaviour that you're not happy with, and you do become addicted to drugs or alcohol or something like that too. You're one for loving the sensation, and you love the feelings of things. And so there's a lot of things that you can easily become addicted to in life. And so you're working to bring about changes within yourself through that sign of Scorpio on the cusp there. And so you do a lot of deep thinking and reflection upon things in your life, and you try to make adjustments and changes, mini deaths of aspects of yourself that you're not happy with. And death will touch you. In other words, there will be the death of somebody in your family, perhaps early in the piece, that will touch you very deeply. Now in the 8th house during the whole of 2014, Aries, you've got Saturn sitting there. So during the whole of 2014, there's bound to be the death of somebody that you know, an elderly person perhaps, and there'll be a lot of changes going on within yourself. You will have a need, a call from Saturn to give in to the law of economy, the wise use of energy, especially sexual energy and emotional energy, and you will be called upon to have wisdom with regard to all of those aspects of yourself that you feel that you've outgrown. And so it's a very exciting year for you, but can be a very frustrating year. You can have bowel trouble with that sort of placement. Saturn in the 8th house for the whole of the year can bring problems with regard to joint finances, finances that you share with your partner or spouse, and the death of somebody that you love, perhaps an elderly relative. Now Mars is the ruler of your 8th house with Scorpio on the cusp there, Aries, and so therefore from the 2nd of March to the 20th of May, you're going to experience a lot of difficulties with regard to joint finances. So things will go a little bit awry with regard to the changes that you want to bring about within yourself as well. On the cusp of your 9th house, Aries, you've got the sign Sagittarius. And Sagittarius is very, very goal-oriented. It's a fire sign. It's a mutable sign, so you're very adaptable. But you do have a strong urge for travel and a strong urge for philosophy and expansion of your consciousness. This is where we are fulfilling our needs for consciousness expansion. And for expansion generally, we do consciousness expansion through travel and through philosophy and religious and spiritual pursuits. So you have got a tremendous drive within yourself to understand some of these things and you're very goal-oriented. When it comes to travel, you want to travel widely, you want to read a lot of books and things like that. So you're very philosophical. Now Jupiter is the ruler of Sagittarius, Aries, and Jupiter is retrograde from the beginning of 2014 right the way through to the 7th of March. So during this particular time you'll find that matters relating to travel, matters relating to higher education and adult education, matters relating to in-laws, and matters relating to philosophical studies and things like that, and spiritual pursuits perhaps won't go as smoothly as what you want them to. But by the 7th of March it starts going direct again, and then things will go well for the rest of the year, except on the 9th of December Jupiter goes retrograde again, and it remains retrograde for the balance of the year and into the new year. So you'll experience some frustrations in that area with in-laws perhaps, and matters relating to travel. Plans can be put off or obstructed or delayed or something like that over Christmas, so just be careful with any plans that you make or any travel. On the cusp of your 10th house, where you are fulfilling your needs for fulfillment and your needs for esteem in the community and high achievements in life through business and career, you've got the practical sign Capricorn on the cusp there, Aries. So you have a government job, or you have a position of leadership or authority. You achieve through taking on extra responsibility in your career or business. So you're very, very practical when it comes to your responsibilities in life. You're very practical when it comes to business and career objectives and things like that. You can plan things out, structure a plan, and with that 7 steps in that plan, bring things down into manifestation as conditions and events in your life. So you can be very successful in career and business, but by the same token, you've got to learn, and you learn the hard way sometimes, to be practical and down to earth with regard to career and business. There's no room for impulse and enthusiasm and rushing into things without planning them out carefully. Now Saturn is the ruler of your 10th house, Aries, and Saturn is in a retrograde motion from the 3rd of March to the 21st of July. Now during that time you're going to find that matters relating to business, problems with parents, difficulties with dealings with government departments, and matters relating to your ambitions and your high achievements in life are not going to go as well as what you planned, and things you're going to have to work that much harder to make your plans manifest into reality during that particular time. The rest of the year should be fine. On the cusp of your 11th house, where you are fulfilling your needs to belong to a group and to experience group consciousness, Aries, you've got the sign Aquarius. So you do get involved in some unusual group activities, and you have unusual circumstances and relationships with other people's children. There can be involvements with grandchildren, for example, when you're old enough to have grandchildren. There can be some involvements there that are quite unusual. You might have grandchildren living with you, or you might be the sole carer of them for a period of time or something like that, or you could adopt someone else's child or something there to do with other people's children. And there's a lot of involvements with friends that bring about unusual circumstances, sudden formation of friendships and sudden breakups of friendships, and unusual things like that occur with Uranus being the ruler of your 11th house, Aries. Now Uranus being the ruler of your 11th house, Aries, means that when it's in a retrograde motion in 2014, things are not going to go as smoothly as what you want them to in terms of friendships and plans for group activities and dealings with other people's children and so forth. There's going to be unsettling conditions, and it happens from the 23rd of July all the way through to the 22nd of December. So that's an extended period of time, almost 6 months. And that is going to see you having unhappiness there, potential for unexpected events and conditions through friends, Friends can have crisis in their life, secret worries about friends, secret worries about other people's children, things to do with group plans and club activities and things like that will perhaps not go as smoothly as what you want them to during that particular time. And on the cusp of your 12th house, Aries, where you are fulfilling your need to have solitude and to aspire towards the divine through introspection and reflection, you have the sign Pisces, so you do have plenty of opportunity in this incarnation to have solitude, and you demand that opportunity for solitude. So you do a lot of deep thinking and reflection upon things, but you can be your own worst enemy, and you can be addicted to drugs or alcohol. You can be addicted to other habit patterns of behaviour which are not in your own best interests. And so there can be a lot of insecurities within yourself from time to time, Aries, to do with that aspect of yourself that nobody else knows about. And so there's these periods of self-undoing and self-sabotage and things like that, perhaps through drugs or alcohol or other addictive patterns of behaviour that you're trying to let go of. So there's this sense of sorrow quite often in life, and maybe a bout in hospital here and there. It's going to be a very exciting 2014 for you, with Jupiter being the ruler there of your 12th house, and Jupiter being there in the 4th house of the family. So family are going to come about, and family are going to unite, and you're going to have a sense of family during 2014 to get you through any of these periods of difficulty that you might be experiencing. Well, now that you've been exposed to what I've told you about the events and conditions that you'll be experiencing in 2014, where do you go from here? Well, it's very, very important for you to understand that just because you don't have all the answers, it doesn't mean that other people don't. And so I've written 2 books. What Really Matters is a book about astrology, meditation and reincarnation. And I've taken all of that material out of that book and put it into 12 CDs. And I'm happy to send you those 12 CDs free of charge. So what you do from here on is subscribe to my website, subscribe to my videos through YouTube, so that every new video that I bring out will be sent to you. And I'll be doing 100 videos or so in 2014 for your benefit on all aspects of spiritual growth, to help you become more of the giant that you truly are. My other book is called Coming Home, An Eternal Journey, and that one goes into things a lot more deeply about the larger plan and quantum physics and the holographic nature of reality and all sorts of other stuff that we won't bother with here. So what I want to help you to do is to be more successful in your life, to be able to consciously create the events and conditions in your life. You have that power. Make no mistake about it. You have that power inside of yourself to create all of the events and conditions in your life by conscious choice instead of subconscious choice as you're doing now. So submit your birth details, even if you've watched videos of mine in the past. Submit your birth details so that I can send you your chart together with those 12 CDs out of my first book on astrology, meditation and reincarnation. And also I'll send you other stuff too, all the links to all of my videos and everything. So this is all free of charge to help you become more of who you really are. But you then have the option of taking horoscope number 2. Horoscope number 2, look, what I'm telling you here in this particular reading that you've just been watching is I'm only telling you a very small amount of the things to do with your ascendant and the signs on the cusp of each of your 12 houses and the movements of the planets through your houses in 2014. But there's so much more there that's in your individual horoscope that I can't touch on. because I don't have your personal horoscope. There won't be another person born with the same horoscope as you for another 25,000 years. So you've got the moon is in a certain house and a certain sign and forming certain aspects with other planets in your horoscope. And that means something to you. You've got Mercury, which is your communication skills and your mentality. And that's in somewhere in one of those 12 houses. And that's in aspect with other planets and so forth. And that has meaning. You've got Venus, which is your love nature, and that is sitting somewhere in one of the houses of your horoscope. And Mars is sitting in one of the houses of your horoscope. All of these things have meaning. They have aspects with each other, with other planets and so forth. So this all has meaning. Jupiter is a major beneficial influence in your life. Where have you got Jupiter sitting in your horoscope, which is the main area that you can find happiness and joy and wonder and expansion in your life? Saturn is sitting somewhere in your horoscope, so there's a lot of tests there involved with Saturn. And Uranus and Neptune, all these planets have impact, and they're all sitting in different houses of your horoscope, and they're all forming aspects and relationships with each other that make you unique and different from everybody else. So I want to interpret your horoscope for you. So in horoscope number 2, I'll do that for you. It's a 20-page printout on you and you alone. And all to do with your personal planets and your houses and signs and aspect and so forth. And then to have horoscope number 3 is my voice with beautiful relaxing backing music to tell you all about the intimate side of your life and where your tests lie and what's going on in the immediate past, so you can say, yes, he knows what he's talking about. And then I'll go into the immediate future, 5 years or so for you, and tell you what's coming up. This helps you to have a map to know where you're going in life. So I thank you for your attentiveness here and look forward to working further with you should you get involved in my intensives and should you have your horoscope done by me. Thank you.